This is Future Talk.
Future Talk.
Future Talk with Omnia Saleh and Hani Balkis.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Future Talk. Right here on Pulse 95. This is the one and only place where we bring you the latest in robotics, artificial intelligence, gadgets, and applications. All that you need to know about what's happening in the tech world, in the UAE, and around the world is being brought to you right here on Pulse 95.
Yes, indeed. And we're going to be talking about how the UAE cabinet has approved a new Emirati passport with more safety and digital features and even a cybersecurity council. Now, that is crazy to see something being implemented with the passport.
Yes, indeed. And around the world, Facebook is making headlines because they were actually fined $6.1 million in South Korea for sharing user data without consent.
Yes, and for our Tech This Out segment, we're going to be talking about how Amazon is facing a privacy backlash for its Sidewalk feature, which does turn Alexa devices into neighborhood Wi-Fi networks that owners have to opt out of it. Now, we do know that we should never connect to a random Wi-Fi network as your data might be concealed.
Absolutely. But we're going to be moving on to talk about the UAE because a very special application was launched earlier yesterday, and we're very excited because this app will actually allow all of us living right here in the UAE to basically do contactless mobile payments, not just by using Apple Pay, but rather to pay all of our bills completely online.
Yes, and Tesla's Model X is now under attack because a Bluetooth attack can steal one of those cars in under minutes. I'm very interested to talk about this one because Bluetooth is very simple, yet very effective in stealing a whole car.
100%. Lots and lots is in store right here on Future Talk, so keep Pulse 95 locked, and we'll be right back.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
The UAE cabinet has approved a new Emirati passport in a cybersecurity council. Now, current UAE passports and ID cards will be gradually replaced. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Emiratis will receive new passports and ID cards that do feature an updated design as well as more safety and digital features. Now, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, the Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, chaired a UAE cabinet meeting on Sunday, during which the new documents have been approved.
Yes, indeed. Now, the new generation of Emirati passports will be equipped with many more digital features, and this will actually make them a lot more safer to use. So they're going to have a new design and smart digital features, which will basically allow them to try and fight identity fraud. Now, these new documents will basically have a lot of electronic security features that will make the document only accessible for those who these documents belong to. Now, during the meeting, the cabinet also approved the formation of a national media team, which is a cybersecurity council and a new environmental policy that seeks to protect the country's natural landscapes and improve air quality. Now, it only makes sense that the UAE is actually currently working on a cybersecurity council because we've definitely seen fraud absolutely hit remarkable numbers, especially during the coronavirus pandemic as people were working from home. Students were studying from a distance. Yesterday, we were actually talking about the UAE becoming the first country in the whole entire world to have an e-safe system, which will basically make sure that students are safe during their classes.
Now, you're probably wondering, what is a cybersecurity council? Now, the new council must develop a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy and help create a safe and strong cyber infrastructure right here in the UAE. Now, it's kind of now mandatory for every country to kind of get ready for any cyber attack, whether it's internal or external. Because just like we have police in the streets, we do need someone kind of safeguarding the internet. Now, it will help develop a legal and regulatory framework to cover all types of cyber crimes, secure existing and emerging technologies, and even establish a robust National Cyber Incident Response Plan, which will enable a swift and coordinated response to cyber incidents in the country, which I do like a lot because this does tackle a variety of issues that do happen on the internet, on social media, and in the cyberspace.
Absolutely. And as long as we can make sure that citizens and residents right here in the UAE are safe online, then that means they are absolutely safe everywhere else, because the UAE is actually considered one of the, if not the safest country in the entire world. And that only makes sense that even online, they are making different moves to make sure that digital security is a priority. But we're going to be moving on to talk a little bit about what is not keeping our privacy in check, which is Facebook, because once again, they are making headlines. They have been fined $6.1 million in South Korea for sharing users' data without their consent.
Yes, South Korea's Personal Information Protection Commission has slapped Facebook with a 6.7 billion won, which does around to $6.1 million fine for sharing user information without consent. Now, the Korea Communications Commission did kickstart the investigation in 2018 before ultimately handing it off to a different type of commission to deal with Facebook. Now, we do know that Facebook is under a lot of fire when it does come to privacy concerns. The EU Commission has sanctioned Facebook a lot and gave them a lot of rules and regulations to go by when it does come to data privacy and selling the data to third-party marketers so they can kind of get a cut out of the deal.
Absolutely. Advertisers is the way Facebook makes money because they sell our information, and in return, these advertisers get to have access to our own profiles, and this is exactly why you tend to find ads popping up every time you talk about something to a family or a loved one. But Facebook, as we've mentioned, a lot of people have been, and researchers have been following what are they sharing exactly without our consent. And researchers have found out that they are sharing people's names, addresses, dates of birth, work experience, hometowns, and even relationship statuses with other companies when they are logged in. But Facebook could have even shared all of this information with up to 10,000 companies. That's a big number and a lot of money that they're going to be gaining. It couldn't say how much information was shared exactly because Facebook apparently did not provide any relevant documentation. However, the fact that they did share all of this information does put a lot of question marks on the company. Now, many of us may be wondering, so what? If my relationship status has been shared, even if my workplace has been shared, well, this information means that advertisers could target you. So let's say you're living in the city of Sharjah and companies had access to this information, you'll get more ads about different activities and things that are happening in Sharjah without necessarily you knowing that this information has been shared.
Yes, Facebook has also been accused of submitting incomplete or even false documents. Now, Facebook did deny the accusation, saying that it did cooperate with the investigation in its entirety. So we are looking at a lot of problems coming out of Facebook, and Facebook has been well known ever since 2012 to be under fire when it does come to sharing information with other companies and especially marketing companies, just like Omnia did state that it is used to target us, you and I, to get products to our home steps, but in an unethical and unmoral way, which I am against. Obviously, data and our data is very important and very valuable. On the show, Omni and I have brought a number of guests who talked about how our data is worth money. And obviously, you can see that Facebook is making a lot of money by selling our personal data.
100%. Let us know your thoughts. Hani has deactivated Facebook recently, and his information is safe and sound, apart from Instagram and WhatsApp also tracking your moves.
Exactly. But even if you deactivated Facebook, you should know that Facebook has its hands on a lot of different social networks and even a little percentage on other apps that are not owned by Facebook.
Absolutely. And even if you've deactivated Facebook, your digital footprint will live forever, sadly. So let us know, do you know of anyone who does not have a single social media platform? Because that was a very interesting information that I learned recently, that some people actually do not exist anywhere on social media. And I think those are the safest out of all of us. Let us know your thoughts. 4215 do Salat or slide into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio. Coming up, we're talking all about Amazon also facing a privacy backlash. What's going on with all those tech giants? They're facing a privacy backlash for a new feature that could turn Alexa devices into neighborhood Wi-Fi networks that as an owner, you would have to opt out of.
Check this out. Check this out. Pulse 95.
Amazon is facing a privacy backlash for its Sidewalk feature now. Earlier in the show, we did talk about how Facebook has been facing a privacy backlash, but now Amazon has come to the plate to join its friend Facebook. Now, you're probably wondering, what is this Sidewalk feature? Well, it turns Alexa devices into neighborhood Wi-Fi networks that owners have to opt out of. Now, before we get into it, we do know that we should never connect to a Wi-Fi network that is unknown or a Wi-Fi network that we don't know, because
any public Wi-Fi
you connect to, because the person who owns that Wi-Fi could have a snoop into your information.
True, and Amazon Sidewalk is launching in the US this week, but it's also going to be launching in the rest of the world pretty soon. Now, this feature is an opt-out feature, so you can choose to have it turned on and you can choose to have it turned off. However, if you do turn it on, that means your Echo and the Ring doorbell that you use that is nearby any Alexa device will also be basically a checkpoint for all of your neighbors. So basically, the Sidewalk feature will use Wi-Fi from your neighbors to create a shared network that will help the devices work better. However, they're also raising a lot of privacy concerns.
Yes, indeed. Now, when you say to share the network, now we always know, even back in the day, when we connect using our laptop to anything, it will ask you, is that public network, a work network, or a home network? Because these three things do make a big difference. Now, it does allow nearby devices to use a portion of a neighbor's Wi-Fi bandwidth so devices can have more range. Now, their intent is to have connectivity all across your neighborhood, but in retrospect, you're actually giving your information to someone who might have malicious intent. So you don't want that, obviously. You don't want your neighbor to know which website you go into. And some networks, Omnia, it can even show what password you have, because if you type in your password while you're connected to the internet, your password might be shown to your Wi-Fi, to the Wi-Fi's owner. So Amazon did say on its launch page that these bridges device do share a small portion of your internet bandwidth, which is pooled together to provide these services to you and your neighbors. Now, it also can work against you if you're sharing your Wi-Fi, because someone can then re-attack your Wi-Fi.
Absolutely. And this is what we've actually been seeing in different parts around the world. I personally experienced it with my own family whenever our neighbors had our Wi-Fi password and they would basically be logged into our own Wi-Fi network. A, the Wi-Fi would actually become a lot weaker.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are logged into it. But B, your information is not safe anymore. So for Amazon to market that as a feature and to say that when more neighbors participate in this Sidewalk feature, the stronger your network will become, is definitely creating a lot of privacy concerns amongst users. Now, Amazon did publish a research paper where they were actually detailing how the technology behind Sidewalk exactly works and the steps that they have taken to keep users' data all private. But the company did conclude that privacy was one of the foundational principles, yet the Sidewalk feature still has a lot of question marks placed all over it.
Now, Amazon also did come back by saying by sharing a small portion of their home network bandwidth, neighbors will give a little but get a lot in return. So that is probably their selling point.
Yeah.
Which we do know, ladies and gentlemen, that why does our Wi-Fi's have passwords on it? Because not anyone should be able to enter your Wi-Fi bandwidth into your Wi-Fi network, because it does cause a lot of plausible threats to your network, to your devices. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of a trick. Not a trick, or something that does happen in the real world. If Omni and I are connected to the same network, the Wi-Fi network, I can send something from my computer to her computer. If I had the correct education and I knew what I was doing, I could probably hack into Omnia's laptop just from the Wi-Fi network. Now, obviously, you have to be very advanced in hacking to do that, but who knows if someone isn't advanced on that network and hacking into your computer, getting your credit card information, sending you files. There's a lot of things that go under play when you are sharing your Wi-Fi network. Now, a lot of people might not think it's a big deal, but it is a big deal. So even when you log into a Starbucks or a coffee shop's Wi-Fi network, be sure of what kind of information you are putting or you are browsing on those Wi-Fi networks.
Absolutely. And if you want to be 100% safe, it would be nice to opt for 3G or 4G and use that when you're on the go. Since a lot of cybersecurity experts do warn us not to go ahead and connect to public Wi-Fi. It may sound luring, going to McDonald's, going to Starbucks, and using that free gift that they are giving you. But every gift comes at a cost, and in this case, the cost is your privacy.
Yes, I never connect to free Wi-Fi, whether it was in university days, nothing. If it's not trusted, I do not log into it. I'd rather stay on 4G and use my data than let my data be exposed. Let us know your guys' thoughts. 4215. Do you connect to the Wi-Fi network, any public Wi-Fi network, or do you opt to use your 4G or even 5G, because now 5G is a thing?
I'm so surprised that 5G is a thing, because we've always talked about it.
China's already looking for 6G.
Exactly, and we've always talked about it, but it just doesn't feel real. I think unless I buy the iPhone 12, it's not going to feel real. But people have been saying, people who have used 5G have always been saying that It's amazing.
Yeah.
You don't even feel things loading.
Now, my buddy does have the iPhone 12 Pro Max with 5G, and he is getting 600 megabytes per second
Wow.
on his 5G network. So basically, he is untouchable.
Well, let us know your thoughts. Are you excited to get your hands on a 5G phone? I know Abdul Karim from the Morning Majlis and Gabi Malouli, our filmmaker, have been enjoying their iPhone 12. So let us know your thoughts. 4215 do it slot or slide into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio. But coming up, a very interesting application is going to be in discussion. An app that was launched right here in the UAE, allowing all of us living here to do contactless mobile payments through a single tap.
Pulse 95.
Apps all around.
What's worth a click and download?
This is one application I'm sure everyone living right here in the UAE will be very excited to hear about. It is called MPay, and it is basically a contactless mobile payment application for all residents. Any bill that you can possibly think of, this application will help you to do it completely cashless. Now, this is basically the region's first national contactless mobile application and the world's first contactless instant credit provider.
Yes, Emirates Payment Services, which does mean MPay, is an initiative of the Dubai economy, which did introduce a new mobile payment application, which is called MPay for UAE residents, as it does look to facilitate on cashless transactions. Now, cashless pay has been booming this year for me.
Especially during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes.
I mean, no one uses cash anymore.
Exactly. I personally do not use cash. Everything is contactless. I just opt for not going to the ATM, pressing numbers, and just using my Apple Pay, which I do use. Now, MPay will not require any paperwork, and allocation of funds will be based on the user's credit history. So MPay is currently available for only UAE residents, but soon enough it will be rolled out in other markets across the region. So we're looking at maybe the Gulf or the Arab world. Now, people can download the app from the Google Play Store or even the iOS App Store and register. They can add their existing credit or even debit card details, or even get a MasterCard digital card that does come with the app. Users can sign up using their mobile number and email address. So it's pretty quick, pretty easy. You don't have to go to the bank. You don't have to give any documents. All you have to do is register with your email and username and your phone number.
100%. And you can, as you mentioned, Hani, download the application from any app store that you wish. Google Play Store or even the iOS App Store will allow you to go ahead and download it. And it's very easy to use. The best part about it is that it basically aims to become the ultimate payment solution for all residents of the UAE, having a single platform for all of us to basically be able to do our day-to-day transactions and all of our payments without having to move between multiple applications, to pay the bill, to renew certain documents.
Yes.
All you have to do is basically log in through the MPay application, and you can simply pay for any government and private sector service, including license renewals, all types of bill payments, food ordering, even school fee payments.
Yeah.
Gone are the days where parents would have to go to the school just to pay their kids' school fees, as well as any international remittances that you would have to go ahead and pay.
Now, this is a very good initiative because think of it like this. Now, every month you do have to pay your water bill, your electricity bill, your Etisalat bill, and all you have to do right now is keep everything opted into one app, which is amazing because this app is trusted. It's coming from the UAE government, from Dubai economy. So you don't have to worry about your details or credentials being leaked or even someone having access to the app, which is, again, very important as safety is key. Now, we do see time and time again how the UAE is leading adoption of the digital payments in the region. And the UAE in general is doing an amazing job when it does come to technology and cybersecurity, as we did talk about how Cybersecurity Council was formed.
100%. 2/3 of UAE residents right here in the country actually expect the country to become completely cashless by the year 2030. Text us in at 4215, do it slot, or sign into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio. Do you believe that the UAE by 2030 will be totally cashless? And would you like that as a citizen living right here? We'd love to hear from you, but coming up on Future Talk, we still have lots and lots to share with you on the show. So keep Pulse 95 locked, and we'll be right back.
Check this out. Check this out. Pulse 95.
Tesla Model X cars are now under vulnerability because a Bluetooth attack can steal one of those cars in under minutes. Now, the company is rolling out a patch. Tesla is rolling out a patch for the vulnerabilities, which did allow one researcher to break into a car in 90 seconds and even drive away. Now, we do know that Tesla has always prided itself on its so-called over-the-air updates, pushing out new code automatically to fix bugs and even add features. But one security researcher has shown how vulnerable the Tesla Model X's keyless entry system did allow a different sort of update, which a hacker could rewrite the firmware of a key fob via a Bluetooth connection, lift and unlock the car from the fob, and use it to steal the Model X in just a matter of minutes and under 90 seconds to be exact.
Yes, indeed. Now, the security researcher is coming from the Belgian University, and he actually revealed a collection of security vulnerabilities that he found in both Tesla Model X cars. And more specifically, he found those vulnerabilities in the keyless entry fobs. So he was basically discovering that combining both vulnerabilities could potentially exploit or allow the car to be exploited by any car thief. Any car thief who actually knows how to read a car's vehicle identification number, which is usually visible,
The VIN number, yeah.
quite literally on a car's dashboard through the windshield. So this could basically allow anyone to be able to take control over a Tesla within 50 feet of the car itself. Now, the hardware kit that is necessary to be able to pull off such a hack would cost around $300. But I mean, what are $300 in comparison to the price of a Tesla? And this kit can actually easily fit into a backpack, and it can be controlled from the thief's phone. So that basically means in just 90 seconds, this hardware can extract a radio code without any complicated tech.
Do you know the movie Gone in 90 Seconds? Well, this is literally it, because the movie Gone in 90 Seconds shows how a car thief would steal cars in under 90 seconds. So, or in 90 seconds to be exact. Now, once the car thief is inside, a second distinct vulnerability, Waters did find that it allowed the thief to even pair their own key with the victim's vehicle after a minute's work and can drive their car away. So let's say, for example, a thief could come in, put his key as your key, and then leave the car and maybe come at a different time, steal it, even if you think it's safe. So obviously, this isn't foolproof. This hacker can get into your car, steal it, and run away. Now, the researcher did say that he did warn Tesla about his Model X keyless entry hacking technique in August. So we're talking all the way back in August. We are in November, going into December now. Now, says the company did tell him it does plan to start rolling out a software update to its key this week and possibly components of its car as well to prevent at least one step in his two-part attack.
Basically, the combination of both vulnerabilities will allow any hacker to steal the Model X in a few minutes' time. And added to all of this, he's actually planning to present his findings of how to hack a car, basically, in the Real World Crypto Conference in January of 2021. So that basically means Tesla will definitely have to provide a software fix, which is one of the advantages of buying and using a Tesla vehicle. It's the ability to have new updates come to your car just like they would on your phone through the iOS or Play Store updates.
No matter how easy it does come to own a Tesla and to maintain a Tesla, I would never buy a Tesla.
No way.
I wouldn't buy a Tesla. It just doesn't seem right to me at this moment in time how Tesla is going. Not because the company is doing a bad job. No, doing a great job. Now, Elon Musk is now the number 2 richest man in the world, just under Jeff Bezos. So obviously he is doing a lot and his company is doing good. But the thing is that when I look at Tesla, I look out of a lot of disadvantages more than advantages.
Yeah.
Because I've talked about the sustainability-wise, how it can be reliable, and now we're looking at how if someone knows how to use a computer and someone knows how to hack into a computer, obviously they can use it to hack into a car. Now, it might not seem easy by doing it, but talk is cheap. So I'm just looking at it how I just don't feel like right now it is the time for Tesla cars for myself, at least, as I think if you want to buy a Tesla, you buy as a second or even third car just to keep it for fun. I mean,
a lot of people, I see where you're coming with this, because a lot of people actually have mentioned the same. Whenever they plan to purchase a Tesla car, it would usually be a second car in addition, because one of the main reasons of it is the vulnerabilities that we see. But as we've mentioned, Tesla is coming up with a lot of updates that will prevent this hack in the coming weeks. In the meantime, the Belgian researcher behind this very interesting hack that could potentially ruin the Tesla market, he said that he's been very careful not to publish any of the codes or reveal any of the technical details that would enable car thieves to pull off his tricks.
Now, this is a white hat hacker, but you could have a black hat hacker who would actually steal a car and sell it to the black market. So, I mean, it is vulnerable, and I just don't feel like Teslas are for me as a reliability type of wise. Now, you do need to charge your car every couple of kilometers, obviously. So
and
I
it's
just
tough when you're moving between Emirates, let's say.
Exactly. So I just don't feel like, for me, myself, I might have a day where I need to be on the road all the time. And when I'm on the road all the time, all I can do is go to a petrol station, fill up my tank, and keep going. But with this, you do have to charge your car, and it does take quite some time. It can go from 30 minutes all the way to 1 hour. And we do know that time is important and time is expensive. Time is money, so I just don't feel like I'm going to throw out an hour of my day charging my car when I need to be somewhere at a certain time.
Let us know your thoughts. Would you consider buying a Tesla yourself? Our text lines are open, 4215, do Etisalat, or slide into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio. Future Talk is coming to an end, but we will be opening the airwaves to the only place to be at 3, the halftime show with Omar Ad-Douri. He has everything to offer for you, from mental health to physical fitness. You can count on him to give you the latest on that. We'll catch you again, same time, same place tomorrow, with a very special live show on the National Day holiday. Lots of guests are going to be coming up to showcase how the UAE is the perfect hub for innovation. So make sure you stay tuned tomorrow, 2 to 3 p.m., and you can catch us there.
Same time, same place, only here on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.